Right, all right. Hey, hey, welcome back. All right, so Aries, let's go ahead and we're just going to take a quick peek, Aries. What do we have for Aries love life? We have an Eight of Wands in the reverse. We have the Six of Cups in the reverse. In this snapshot of time, it says, at least Aries says, there's nobody coming toward me, and I'm done with any particular soulmate. I'm not actually cycling back through anything with a particular soulmate. Let's get one more out of this deck. Okay, we got two more, three, excuse me. We have Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Three of Cups. This looks like Aries is very unbothered. Looks like, honestly, they closed out some kind of a cycle. Maybe not a cycle, maybe all old cycles. This could be an Aries who really embraced like new year, new me, no exes, nothing from my past. I just want to move forward slowly but surely. I'm going to restore like love and balance and happiness in my life first and foremost through like engaging with people that I care about that maybe don't have to be romantic interests of the past. So Aries love life is not like it's non-existent. It's that their love life is actually made up of like, I am spending time right now not thinking about exes. I am spending time right now moving forward and rebuilding connections with other people in my life who might introduce me to new individuals. So it feels very determined. The Aries is like, I don't want past stuff. I just flat out don't. Okay, so what does that mean moving forward? Three of Wands, Page of Swords. Aries is definitely all about the new. They are most definitely, like, especially in these next 3 months, they will be actively seeking communication with different people. They will actively be, like meeting people, getting to know new people, getting interested in new people. And this doesn't mean just one person. Aries could be like, honestly, it feels I'm so pleased to be single and ready to mingle. Eight of Wands. And when I see somebody that I like, then I'll start putting my energy into really building something. If I see someone that I really like, and I do feel like this will happen in the next 3 months of Aries life, let me just ask, is this going to be a mutual attraction? Because, I mean, this Aries has no fear whatsoever. They're not worried like, oh God, I'll never love again. I don't want anybody. This is not a wounded Aries. This is a very, like, I am very whole. I am completely confident. And I'm so pleased that I'm not looking backwards. Seven of Cups. Is there somebody out there for Aries? Oh my goodness. There is more than one somebody out there for Aries. Yes, there is still someone who would like a shot with Aries, but what I think is whomever Aries is going to be connecting with next, this is somebody who's had some complications in their life. This is somebody who's already like when Aries meets this person and vice versa, it could be Ace of Wands, that they've recently reinvented themselves, kind of like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I feel like this is going to be somebody who is freshly divorced. And that doesn't mean divorced and wounded, although they may have lost a lot in some kind of an ending or divorce, because it's like a burned down tree over here. But they are reaching out and holding, the hand of this person. I feel like Aries is going to be like a breath of fresh air in their life, a reason for them. I'm hearing that song, Brooks and Dunn. I saw the light. I've been baptized by the fire in your touch and the flame in your eyes. I'm born to love again. I'm a brand new man. That's what it feels like. Like, oh my God. Wow. After coming through like the worst, the messiest, ending of my life, I meet this Aries and they are, oh my God, they're a breath of fresh air. And it makes me like able to say, thank God everything got, demolished, because I don't want anything from my past. I want this new. I want to change my circumstances. I want to, play in the sun with this Aries. Five of Wands. Tell you, this person is able to reinvent themselves. It doesn't mean that they're totally conflict free, just a heads up. But maybe that's the other reason that Aries is going to be such a powerful energy in this person's life. We have the World, brand new beginnings. Aries represents a fresh start from almost nothing, admittedly. And even while there's still a little bit of drama somewhere in the background, or maybe they have a family that's high drama. The thing is, I don't think it's going to touch their life and the potential life that they may have with Aries. I just think it's if anything, Aries is like going to be I feel like this person's going to kind of leave their scenario behind and fully step into Aries' life. Aries is a bit of a lifeline for them. I don't think Aries set out to be that, but I think that's what it's going to feel like. Because we see the very first engagement that Aries has with this person is, I'm reaching my hand out to you, and I'm made of stone. I'm very solid. You have had something go belly up, but I'm very solid, and I'm reaching out, and I'm a friend to you first. Aries may start talking to this person. This could be somebody that like, oh, if Aries is hanging out more with friends, a friend of a friend could be like, oh yeah, my whatever brother just recently went through a divorce. It was a train wreck. And so Aries has some backstory on this person, and Aries is like, oh, been there, done that myself. I'd like to, whatever, I could be friends with this person's, sibling as I get to know more about them. Maybe it's a lot more than just a bit of friendship, but there's this energy of like, Aries knows some of the backstory, but Aries is also going to be like representational of a fresh start for this person. I'm not saying that Aries has to come in and be like, here, just come live with me. I'll take care of you. All those meanies, they can't break your heart anymore. No, this person's not coming in wounded, and they're not coming in like they need Aries to save them. It just happens to be that Aries is a wonderful breath of fresh air. I feel like Aries is going to know this person and know much about their background through like a vetting process. And that's probably because of this. Like Aries may already have heard a lot about this person through a friend. So they're already coming in like, by the time Aries meets this individual, it's going to be like, oh, I know a thing or two about what their situation was. And that might really help for Aries to like be able to build a bit of a bond for this person and maybe make them feel, like friendly feelings toward them for starters. 8 of Cups, there's still this energy of like Aries' presence in this character's life is mostly going to give them the empowerment to fully stand on their own 2 feet. This isn't somebody who's just like, let me come live off of you now, Aries. Let me move in with you. No. They're going to be empowered to like really regroup a lot faster and get their life stable again because they want to be around Aries. That Aries is an inspiration to them. Can I just ask, is this somebody that, because we kept saying Aries wants somebody new, but new as a new lover does not mean that Aries has never heard of this person before. You know what I mean? It feels like they're coming in somewhat vetted, and Aries is learning more about them, and Aries is this huge source of inspiration to them. 7 of Coins. This could be somebody like someone whose name Aries has heard for a long time but had never met this person. Like that's oftentimes how it goes when we have friends and we've known our friends or colleagues for a while. And from time to time, we'd hear them talk about, oh yeah, my brother, blah, 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 or my cousin, blah, blah, blah. It almost feels like that. Like Aries is like, honestly, I've heard about this person for a long time. Never met them maybe, or never had any connection with them. But then one day that's going to change. I'm going to have a connection with them. I never did before, but I always, their name had come up in conversation many times. 9 of Cups. I honestly think this is like such a stress-free kind of romance. It could be that Aries and this person are going to almost have a rapport by the time they actually sit down for their first, let's go have a drink. And now we're, getting to know each other like a one-on-one. It's like, well, actually, I have to be honest. I know an awful lot about you because for years I've heard your name. I just never saw you before. So there's already like a happiness or a comfort zone here that could be just wonderful. Let me just ask, as far as like, actually, let me change decks. As far as the divine goes, universe, do you have a message for Aries in all of this? Anything that's either actually, let's go this deck. Anything that's a heads up or anything that is like a, bit of, I don't know, something worthwhile to consider. I don't want to say a warning or advice, but 2 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. It says, just because something seems like it could come in this wonderful way where somebody already seems a little bit vetted, it doesn't take away the fact that Aries and this person would still have to find their balance. So it doesn't mean to look at things with rose-colored glasses on. But on the other hand, it does say sometimes the balance of life goes just the way it's supposed to. You know how Aries was like, I'm not returning to any old soulmates, no past lovers. I'm not talking to past lovers. But the irony here is that it's like this person too happens to be a soulmate. And in some ways, they're not a brand new soulmate because they've already been on the fringes. They've already been somebody that was always going to be in Aries' world. And so the universe is just asking Aries to be mindful that sometimes, you know, as we had to make space for this new relationship to come in, obviously, which meant Aries had to, the same way if you're going to get a new couch, you have to move your old couch out first, because where's your new couch going to go? A couch is a big chunk of furniture. You know, I mean, unless you have some huge place and you can have multiple couches in one living room. But otherwise, mostly what you do is you say, okay, I found my new couch, but before I can bring it into my house, I have to move out my old couch. That is exactly what Aries did. Aries moved out the old energy and firmly said, I don't want the old energy. And that is precisely why they made space for somebody new. So it is a balancing energy. And I think Aries probably let go of somebody that was like maybe a false Two of Cups in order to bring in the real Two of Cups. And I just think that the universe is letting Aries know, like, your actions, your decision making is what allowed this to come into your life. So there's a couple different ways to look at that. Like, but no matter how seemingly serendipitous it is, just know that there will still be you know, a juggling act for these two to get to know each other. Also, it says Aries and this person perhaps both had to go through some pretty tough experiences. Well, not had to, but they did, you know. Nobody should ever have to go through terrible things, okay? I never say like, oh, isn't that great? We go through tough stuff and then, you know, then we can appreciate life that's good. No, I mean, nobody should have to deal with villains, okay? And I will always stand up for victims, always, and say nobody should have to go through painful things. But in this story, obviously Aries already did, or they wouldn't have been so hell-bent to say, I'm not doing anything with exes again. There will be no returns of exes for me. Absolutely none. And they really meant it. Meanwhile, this person that seems to be a wonderful match for Aries, their true Two of Cups, they obviously made a complete and utter ending with someone of their past as well. And Aries represents their new beginning. So I'm going to say both people went through really difficult, really painful things. But that's also perhaps why they're in such like a parallel energy where they can really cherish each other's, because it's like, oh my God, you're so different than what I dealt with. You're so different. And this is exactly what I want. And I never want to go back to anything that I had in my past. And you represent all that is, you know, you want to protect me from anybody that would treat me bad. And I want to protect you from anybody that would treat you bad. And that could, on one hand, this is the universe saying, you know, sometimes it's when we get treated poorly and we have the power to walk away and we have the determination that I'm never going to do that again to my poor self. I'm going to make sure that I get to choose somebody that treats me better. That's where it's like, excellent. Now you're expecting balance to come in, and that's exactly what does come in. This person could be a Libra. They could be a Capricorn. They could be a fellow fire sign as well, but they are coming across so... it's the perfect time to meet this person. And the way that Aries went about setting their sights on, I won't have any exes. I'm going to spend time in non-romantic connections and love my life and love my friendships and just rebuild my life without even thinking about romance. That is actually what kind of angles this and sets the stage and gets the ball rolling for these two. And I just think that it's a beautiful, this is the way it was supposed to go for these two. It's a beautiful message that everything actually flows first and foremost because Aries made great decisions for themselves. But this is also how the universe balances sometimes. I still would say much of this balance is coming in because of who Aries chose to be in this equation. And the fact that this other person, they don't want to go back to exes either, clearly. They went through an ending. Aries went through an ending, but thank goodness, finally, there's some justice coming in. All right, I'm going to leave. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love to you guys. Bye for right now.